Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Caroline McGraw, and I am with The Clearing. We are a non 12-step dual diagnosis residential addiction treatment center, and that's kind of a mouthful. So, what I like to tell people is that we help you learn how to not hate yourself anymore, because that's really true. So, today we're going to talk about what to do when family time is a trigger, and hit like or share if you know what I'm talking about, because we all know that sharing the holiday season can be a time of great joy, togetherness, and festivity. And it can also be super distressing, lonely, and triggering, particularly if you grew up in a really dysfunctional or an abusive family situation and you're spending time with your family members. So, we just wanted to give you a crash course. Here are some truths to remember this holiday season. First of all, let's take it back to basics. Number one, if you are an adult, you get to decide how you spend your time. There are relatively few things in this life that you actually truly have to do. Taxes are typically one of them. Pay your taxes. But most of our socializing is based around what we choose and the decisions that we make. So we mention this because if you're planning to spend time in a situation that is really, really significantly unhealthy or abusive, it's time to question why you're doing that. So you can also check out, 2 weeks ago, we did a Facebook Live video on this question, and it was called, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And it was talking about being in a really challenging situation. And the question we focused in on for that video was, if I wouldn't bring an innocent child into this situation, why am I bringing myself? Why am I bringing my own inner child into this situation? So that's not a cop-out. That's not saying never do hard things or never face challenges. It's just saying really think about the kind of situations that you want to be a part of in your life. So all of that aside, say you have decided that you do want to spend time with your family this holiday, and that, yeah, every family has some dysfunction, but on balance, that you really want to be with the people you love, then hats off to you. That's awesome. Here are some things that you can do to make that easier for yourself, even and especially when you get triggered. So, number one, learn to work with your emotional triggers and practice taking care of you, your mental and emotional health, before you go into the situation. Have some tools and support set up. Start the process now. We have a whole bunch of resources that can help you with this, including our free ebook on healing underlying core issues. And I'll put a link to that in the comments too. But just to share a really basic strategy to work with emotional triggers, say you find yourself feeling really upset because a relative asks you something passive aggressive like, oh, so have you got a job, or are you still crashing on your friend's couch? Ha ha ha, just kind of belittling. So say you hear a comment like that and it really gets to you and you just feel it in your stomach, you feel all this shame, you just feel like about 2 inches tall. That's actually a really powerful learning opportunity. I know it doesn't feel like it, but that's a place where you can take a minute and ask yourself a really important question, which is, when have I felt this way before? When have I felt this particular blend of shame or anxiety or apprehension? When have I felt this way before? And more importantly, what's the first time I can remember feeling this way? Go to a quiet place, just sit with that question. What is the first time in my life I remember this specific feeling? And once you have it, really let yourself feel into that memory again. It could be from when you were 5 or 6 or 7, probably pretty young. And that's an opportunity for you as the adult to reparent the younger you that went through that difficult experience. So that's a time to offer yourself compassion, to cry, to rage, to do whatever you need to do to get those feelings out, and then just be soothing. Just be kind, like, they're there. I'm here for you. That was hard, but we made it through that. I'm here for you now. And we're going to work together so that you can go through life and respond differently the next time a trigger comes up. So that's just one example. Again, we have many more details in our resources, but that's one way. Ask yourself the question, when's the first time I can remember feeling this way? And then work to reparent that younger part of yourself that has struggled and that is suffering. So another way to come at this trigger question is to work on the mental level and to work on your beliefs and start noticing the thoughts that you have around your family. So journaling is really helpful here. Get the thoughts on paper. It's easier to identify them that way. So instead of thinking thoughts like, my family is so messed up, or they should be different, or they always judge me, or, pick your hurtful thought. My family is so messed up is usually a good place to start. I find a lot of people have that one. So take that thought and then think about, is that really true? And how can I reframe that? So one possible reframe you can try on is, instead of thinking, my family's so messed up, over and over, which is a really stressful thought, at least for me, I could think something like, my family is teaching me. It's like, oh, okay, that feels a lot different than my family is still messed up. It's like, yeah, my family may have some issues, but what if my family is teaching me? Because the brain really likes to go to work finding answers. So if you ask it different questions, if you ask it a question like, what is my family teaching me? It will search to find evidence and find answers for that question. So if I was willing to learn here, what would I be taught? So it could be patience, it could be perseverance, or it could be, I'm going to learn how to stand up for myself and leave the room when everyone starts yelling and throwing things. The lesson is yours, but it may be helpful to think about what you can learn. And another really cool flip, you can look at it this way. If one of your stressful thoughts is, my parents should be different, you can think about, what if I am my parents' teacher? That was something when I went through the program in the Clearing in August 2016. That was one of the most powerful principles and lessons that I learned. It's this idea that we're not, as adults, we're not victims of our parents' dysfunction. We can step it up and we can parent ourselves in the way that we've always wanted to have. And in addition, we can model for our parents what health and what true, real, loving, functional adulthood looks like. So we can be our parents' teachers. It's not their job to parent us anymore. They had their chance. If we're over 18, we're now our own adults. So this is our turn to be our own parents and to share a new way of being with the world. So flipping the switch and flipping the responsibility can be really helpful. What if I'm the parent now? So a couple more practical tips just as we wrap up. If you are spending a lot of time with family members in situations that you know might be triggering this holiday season, think about really concrete ways to give yourself an out. So for example, you might drive your own car to places so that you can leave when you choose to leave and you're not at the mercy of other people coming and going. Or you might stay at a friend's house or stay at a hotel so that you can have more private space and quiet time and still have the together time. Or, you might decide to go to a party for a couple of hours and then book something else right after that you need to go to, so that you limit the amount of time that you're spending in a situation that you think might be hard for you. And again, the principle here is that you get to choose how much time that you spend socializing over the holidays and in what way you do it, because you are the grown-up. That's right. And for our final tip, I just want to encourage you to keep a sense of humor. And one of my favorite resources for this is life coach and author Dr. Martha Beck's Dysfunctional Family Bingo, which is just a delightfully funny idea. She has this blank bingo card, and the idea is that you fill in the squares with the common dysfunctions and craziness that you see in your loved ones. So for example, one square might be, my uncle starts a really inappropriate political conversation, or my aunt makes something really overly dramatic and she makes it about her and it's not about her. Or my younger sister hooks up with someone inappropriate and brings them to Thanksgiving dinner, something like that. And so the idea is that you go through your family experience secretly playing bingo and mentally kind of ticking off the squares. And you can do this with friends, kind of cheering each other on and competing for who gets bingo first. And the whole point of this, obviously, is to look at it with a lighter heart and with a spirit of, oh, I wonder what they'll do next, as opposed to, oh, this is so hard. My family should be different. My family's so messed up. That kind of thing. So I want to wish you good luck and Godspeed in all of your family time this holiday season. And just before we wrap up, I'm just going to look through the comments and see if there's anything we want to address. Oh, lovely. Josiah, a Clearing graduate. Oh, it's nice to meet you too. Thank you. I really appreciate the encouragement. It's always great to hear from fellow graduates. Jeff, triggers are just excuses. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one some more. But I do see your point in that, in a sense, a trigger is, I guess I would say, more of an invitation of, this is something that I need to work with. This is something that is a sore point for me. And if you don't work with it, it can then certainly become an excuse. Yeah, I could see that. Brian Connell, pick up the phone and call someone. No 1,000-pound phones. Yes, one of my favorite authors, Anne Lamott, talks about the 1,000-pound phone. And just pick it up, call someone, reach out, and remember that you are not alone. And family time is a trigger for a lot of people. And the thing is, it is what you make it. It can be a great learning opportunity and a great time to work with some of your own stuff and come out stronger and braver on the other side. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have very happy holidays, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.